Hi everyone. With this video, listen to what they say, but look beyond the words and keep an open mind as to what could be really happening. Yes, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but is it? I have watched a load of videos over the last few days, and this seems to be the general tone to what is being said. Starmer is allowing all these immigrants in and automatically giving them asylum status, but to what end? Here are some theories for you which are coming across different platforms which are quite interesting. Deliberately changing the demographic of religion from a Christian-based country to an Islamic country. Not just in the UK, but the West in general. Allowing all sorts of known and unknown criminals in which seem to have no respect for the UK's law and order, let alone traditions. They want their way or no way. So can this be seen to cause civil unrest and to try and provoke anarchy so that they can bring in even more laws and legislations? Do these immigrants seem to have all the rights and no responsibilities? We know these immigrants are getting absolutely everything paid for them. But why, when all the nationals have to work for everything they have, and as for our genuine homeless people and pensioners, they get nothing? What is the reason for this? Apart from the idea of the Great Reset, could these immigrants be seen as an unofficial government army? Lots of people seem to think so. But are they themselves being used and they can't even see it yet? One theory could be looked at. If they are getting everything for free, then aren't they being controlled? The government could easily take everything away from them if they don't bow down to their will.
And we're angrily piling through some of the stories that have made us furious today. And that's what the story is with this Labour government. Everything they seem to do is infuriating. And this one has really got my goat, as they say. As I said before the break, Isabel, 62,801 migrants who would have been permanently barred from settling in Britain will now be allowed to stay as a result of changes to the asylum system introduced by Keir Starmer. This has been revealed in a report by the Refugee Council, which reveals that tens of thousands of small boat channel crossers who arrived in Britain illegally will be granted asylum because Starmer scrapped the Rwanda scheme on day one of his administration. This is resulting in, do you remember Labour's pledge? We're going to stop using hotels, far more hotels. This has resulted in them having to rush out to find thousands of extra hotel beds for migrants. They're having to be laid on amid an ongoing surge of unlawful arrivals. This is just one massive, great humiliation for Starmer, two-tier Keir and his hapless
But he doesn't
Home
see it that way. He doesn't see it that way, you know. And I was thinking about this, the numbers here. So 62,801. These are people who would have automatically been disqualified from remaining in this country under the last government because they put in a new law saying if you come here this way by small boat, you absolutely will have no hope at all of remaining. It's a very sensible rule, that. It's really easy to understand.
Yep.
It costs nothing, that rule. Very simple for the authorities to apply. Keir Starmer, in an act of breathtaking stupidity, made it one of the first things he did was scrapping that law. So that removes a deterrent, along with removing Rwanda as a deterrent. That means there is no deterrent. And now, instead of thinking about how he's going to actually send all these people home, you know, kick them out, deport them, whatever language you want to use. As you say, he's going round asking the Home Office to put out the SOS to their hotel scoper-outers to find more accommodation. And here's the absolutely ridiculous thing. There are now hotels that were used under the last government for migrants, that the last government said, actually, we don't want to use hotels anymore because voters are getting really hacked off with this. So we're gonna actually get rid of the migrants. We're ending your contract with the hotel people. They then spent thousands of pounds putting the hotel back together to be a hotel because generally these migrants cause quite a lot of damage. And now the hotels are being reconverted to have migrants again. I mean, this is complete and utter insanity.
Well, if Starmer can't spot that this is and humiliating failure for him, then there's something wrong with him upstairs.
Oh, he can't spot it.
I think that, well,
Doesn't get it.
this is terrifying then. In the past 2 weeks, by the way, 2,265 more migrants have sailed from France.
Great.
973 pitched up on one day alone, October the 5th. That makes 27,509 so far this year, 6% up on last year and counting. Meanwhile, over in EU land, the EU Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen is proposing huge increases in migrant deportation. Even Keir's beloved EU is out of step with what this government's doing.
Yeah, and do you know the last time a government minister had to resign over immigration? It was actually in 2004 when a Labour minister called Beverly Hughes had to resign over an immigration scandal.
The press officer at one point, didn't she?
I looked back at this immigration scandal. It was so tame. You know, this was a kind of everyday occurrence now. It was a minor thing about a few Eastern Europeans who were fiddling their paperwork to get work visas here. A handful of people. This is now happening on an industrial scale up and down this country. There are numerous businesses making a killing off the back of this. Is there any suggestion that any minister will resign? No, because 62,801 is now just a rounding error in this gigantic catastrophe that we're facing.
Yeah, and as we discussed last night, Keir Starmer, you're probably not watching, but if any of your cronies or acolytes are watching, or even if you're watching, this, unless you do something about it, will lose you the next election. 100%. Why you Westminster lot can't get it through your thick heads that people in this country care about this. They want this solved. And you shrugging your shoulders in your elite North London houses saying, well, it doesn't really affect us and, you know, there are more important issues. For millions of people in this country, there aren't any more important issues. It is the most important issue. And if you don't get to grips with it, you're going to pay the price, right?
I tell you what, I don't think that there has ever been such a case in modern political times of buyer's remorse as there is amongst hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, who voted for Labour because they could not reward the Conservatives because of their immigration betrayal. So they voted for Labour because they thought, look, Conservatives have let us down over immigration. And now they see this lot is as bad stroke much worse. And they are itching to punish this government already.
And they will. And the fact that Starmer and his gang can't see, you know, they ought, I don't know if they privately admit this to themselves, but they should. This was not a vote for Labour, it was a vote against the Tories. And much of that negative feeling towards the Tories was down to the fact that they absolutely disastrously failed to tackle the migrant crisis. Starmer doesn't seem to realise that what people were hoping, as you say, was that maybe he would. Instead, he's made it, it's no mean feat, but he's made it even worse. Unbelievable.
You know, it's actually quite easy to make it worse. You just do nothing.
Yeah,
and if you carry on doing nothing...
That's what he's doing.
Trust me, more people are going to come. Come one, come all.